Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Cindy Nasario in Cindy's Head TV. By the title of the video, you can tell that I'm gonna tell you guys the truth about pretty much my life, which has everything that has to do with what's been going on within the past 2 years, or 2.5 years up until now. There's gonna be several parts of this. So I'm probably gonna do more than 2 or more than 3 videos about it. And depending on how it goes or what response I get from you guys, I might post maybe half of the videos on this channel and then half on my other channel. And so yeah, it took me a while and a lot of thinking if I wanted to share with you guys the truth and the details as far as my personal life and my family. And I've come to the conclusion and the final decision that I will, because I'm going to give the people what they want. I want to say I have been meeting few people, which has significantly caused me to recall, and also questions as to why this, why that, why certain things are the way they are in my family, and also why certain things are the way they are. Like, oh, why is Cindy not at this birthday party? Why is Cindy not here when the family gets together? Why am I the only one missing? So I'm gonna clear the air and pretty much let it all out there. And for the ones who don't like it, and if my family sees this, I'm only gonna say the truth and nothing but the truth. And I believe in God. I know there's a God up there, and I know exactly what happened. If I did not see it or hear it with my own eyes, and if I don't know it, then I'm not gonna say it. I don't know it. But I just want everyone to know that everything that I'm gonna say is because I saw it with my own eyes, heard it with my own eyes, and I know, or I heard it from the horse's mouth, like that expression. So with that being said, let's get right to the video. And if it makes you uncomfortable any kind of way, then just don't watch it. I just feel that I've had more than enough people come up to me asking me the same questions. Not that it bothers me, but I just feel that this is what the public, as people around me and people that I have been meeting, this is what questions arise and people want to know. So for those of you that say people don't want to watch that or this and that, no. This is I came it took me a while to come to the decision to share this with y'all. So, it's Insidious Head TV, and I'm, like I said, keeping it real, all in the raw. Like, it is what it is type thing. So if you want to get booty hurt or whatever, then just watch something else. But for those of y'all who have been following me, I love you all so much. And then for the ones, if you're new, hopefully you're able to relate with some of the things that has been going on, with myself, with my family and stuff. So yeah. So I'll explain, more along. Like I said, that's why it's gonna take me a few videos to fully explain everything. But I just feel like it's better for me to make these videos explaining the whole situation with my life, with my family, and why certain things are the way they are. So I'm just gonna clear the air, and yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so I don't really know where to start. I might cut a few parts of the clips because sometimes I go blank or I have to think, because like I said, this has been happening for the past 2.5 years, something like that. Anyway, I'm gonna open up to you guys, in the raw, totally raw dog this shit right now. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the question that everyone asks me: Why don't both of my sisters talk to me? Well, I'm gonna start off by explaining the situation. I'm gonna bring up almost 2.5, close to going on 3 years now. Um, there's an altercation that happened between the father of my kids with my older sister's at the time boyfriend or baby's dad, however you want to say it. So okay, they had beef and stuff, and then they ended up fighting. And I'm gonna summarize it first, and then I'll explain it. Okay, so to sum it all up, it pretty much was they had beef. Then my sister like was always breaking up with him. We were always showing up, my baby's dad and I at the time. We're not together no more, but anyways, I'll get to that part. So he would always show up and go help her move her things or go change locks and this and that. Then long story short, then she ended up coming by herself. It was just her and my nephews, which was her and her boys. And she asked, "Oh, can we give up one of my daughter's rooms in the house where we live with my mother, because it was my mother's house." So we were paying her rent. So I said, "Yeah, I'm wanting to give up, my daughter's room. That way you can, just scoot on in there. It's not much, but that way you have somewhere to stay, with your boys. And they're my nephews, I love them." So that's what happened. So it was just, the agreement was just her and her children, not her baby's dad. So then she ends up moving in. She starts getting an attitude with my baby's dad, and just because she started bringing her baby's dad over, and we were saying again, the agreement was just you and the boys, not you and your dude and your kids, because like he should be man enough to go and have a stable household for you guys. And I don't know, you guys had a house. I don't know why you guys moved. Y'all broke up or argued, whatever. And right away you want to move out, move all your things, make a big deal, get everybody involved. It affects the whole family. Again, again, then he moves in, right? Then they already had beef. My baby's dad and her baby's dad. So then they ended up getting into a fight, physical fight in the kitchen in my mother's house. He's the one who started it first. My baby's dad was the one who finished it. So then pretty much he couldn't take being man enough to say, "I got my ass beat." So then he starts calling the police and saying, "Oh, I got my ass beat," and this and that. Cops show up, and then they take my baby's dad, because they say that my baby's dad didn't have a scratch on him or any bruises. And then they saw him over there beat up. And then I was like, okay, but he started the fight. He had a knife in his hand, and they were in the kitchen. And yeah, so because he got the best of him, he couldn't take an ass whooping. And then the police just went based off of that the looks that my baby dad was not beat up, and then he was. So then um my opinion, I feel you can have your own opinion. My opinion is, this fool that got his ass beat was here illegally at the time. His status was illegal, right? He's from Mexico. So then my baby's dad was also here illegally. So then he was here illegally, knowing that my baby's dad was here illegally. And then he calls the cops, knowing the possibility that once he goes and gets magistrated, and even if you get your bond paid off, which we eventually had to do, then he can still get a heist hold, which is where they'll hold him until the feds come, which is ICE, and they actually transport him to the federal custody, which is for illegal reentry. And then they have to wait if he wants to fight to stay, or he just wants to sign off for his deportation. So eventually, after a few months that he was in prison, because it's the feds, you have to be in prison. So after a few months in prison, then he had to, he got deported eventually, the father of my kids. So then that caused a lot of stress on me. So after such a long time, not a long time, but to me it felt like a long time. Days passed, weeks passed, months passed, and like I said, she moved them in my mother's house with her. So I was over here heartbroken, crying every day, stressing. I was only, a housewife. I didn't know how I was going to pay the bills, how I was going to pay my car insurance, my phone, like all the bills and stuff. And at the same time, I was taking care of my children. I was fighting, my, addiction, which was just alcohol. I was doing my AA. I was working with a sponsor. I was doing so many things, working on myself. I was pretty much in recovery. So then being in recovery is hard. And on top of that, having the financial stress on you, having the emotional stress, from one day to the next, the one person that was there being responsible and working and bringing home the money, it, was gone. And then I went from being a housewife, which all I had to do was take care of the house, clean, cook, and, take care of the kids and, attend to my baby's dad, and feed him and everything and do everything that he asked of me, then from one day to the next, I was doing all of that. And then plus, the whole shitload of stuff that just piled up on me. So then I panicked and I didn't know what to do. I had a mixture of emotions. I would see on the daily my sister and her dude just laying down, all comfortable, all nice, living all cool, like nothing happened. And I'm like, my family's over here broken up, and the father of my kids is in prison waiting to get deported, and then they're over here all chilling like nothing's happening. And then eventually, I don't know, I started getting anger, and then I started confronting them, saying stuff like, I hope you're happy. This is what you wanted. You wanted him to get deported. Now he's in prison waiting to get deported. And then they both say, oh, well, not both. My sister's the one who said, don't think this made me happy. This is not what I wanted. And to me, at that point, I just had like this whole big storm cloud over my head, like, with all these different emotions and different thoughts, like I'm the one who ends up being fucked. And then now I have to look out for my kids and for the bills and everything. And it was hard. It was really hard. Then yes, I ended up getting into altercation with my sister, and then I ended up fighting with her. And then I guess it was like pretty much the same thing. I was the one who got the best of her. Like I beat her up, and then because she was hurt. Then I guess she called the police. I left. I didn't stay here. I took off. And then, from there, she still has not talked to me. And this was already like 2.5 years ago. And I just think that she doesn't talk to me, maybe not just because of her own fear, but maybe because her baby's dad, that she's still with, probably brainwashed her and tells her stuff to not talk to me, that it's better that way. And I feel that he knows that he feels guilty, because if he wouldn't have thought about been selfish and only thought about himself, like, oh, I'm beat up, like, dude, get over it. It's a little bruise. It's gonna heal. But why are you gonna call the police to potentially break up this family, and you don't think about the kids? Like, no, that's not okay. So I'm pretty sure that that's probably one of the things that is still eating at him, and he's not content with his own freaking self, and that's why he probably feels it's better to just keep me away. Like, don't talk to Cindy, don't do this. Like, any kind of party they have, everything, no, I'm always being left out. And then that's why she doesn't talk to me, you know. And then from there, whenever it's brought up, because she doesn't talk to me at all still. So whenever I talk about it in an open setting with my mother, which is rare, we've only talked about it like maybe 2 or 3 times around other people that we know, like friends and family. So um my mother says, well, I was not here that day, and she wasn't when the fight happened between the two men. And my mother and my sister that doesn't talk to me, that with that, they both point a finger at me and say that when they were fighting in the kitchen, why didn't I get in? Why didn't I try to stop him? That she actually got in between, and she was trying to stop her baby's dad from fighting. Why didn't I get in? And my response to that is that it's two grown men fighting, and they need to sort this out. And if they're throwing punches or whatever it is, I saw one of them holding a chair, like there was, chairs being scooted everywhere. They were pushing and shoving, they were like pretty much like wrestling around the table, the dinner table. I'm not trying to get hit. I'm not trying to intervene. Like, they're men. Let them handle it for themselves. That's my opinion. There's no reason why I should be getting in between two grown ass men that are fighting, physically fighting. Like, I'm not trying to get hit over here. And at that time, like I said, I was going through my AA, I was working the steps, and I was in recovery. And part of me being in recovery at that time, it was situations that would trigger me. So if I felt triggered in any kind of way, especially a fight happening like that, like the best thing I can do, my sponsor would tell me, is to remove myself from the situation. She was like, don't get involved. If it doesn't concern you, don't get involved. Because what's going to happen is that you start fighting, or you get in between an argument, or you engage. Once you engage with a situation, then all these other emotions start spiraling. And then what happens is you're like, oh shit, like all these other extra character defects start going into play. And then that literally puts your sobriety at jeopardy, because you start feeling like hitting the fuck it button, like fuck it. So then they said that um excuse me, at the time I had less than a year of sobriety. So they told me to avoid any kind of confrontation like that, like any kind of fighting like that, like any kind of setting like that was happening. So I remembered what my sponsor had told me. So that's why I was like, oh shit, like I'm not even trying to get involved. Like I'm gonna let them, they're grown ass men, I'm gonna let them do it. So in my defense, that's what I think about that situation. And for her not to talk to me still, like it's really something not that I accept, but I mean, I guess I sort of accept it or learn to live with it. I just feel like I respect her decision. If she doesn't want to talk to me, that's fine. But to me, to finalize all that BS, I mean, to me it's like this. It's like I forgave her and her baby's dad. Cause when I was in jail, I will say that in a different video too. When I was in jail for 3 months, when I was in jail, I was mad and I was angry at them, and I did not want to forgive them. And when I was in jail, I thought I was never gonna forgive them. I felt like they laughed in my face, like they got what they wanted when I was in jail. And I was like, they're probably over there laughing. Like, oh yeah, like, Cindy's in jail now. She got what she deserved and this and that. But even in county, because I was in county, even in county, they have church service every Sunday. You can choose if you want to go. And that's only like a few people, it's limited. That's something where like you have to wake up early enough to make sure that you sign your name on that list. When they bring the paper on Sunday, they come with a paper, and sometimes it has a slot, it has numbers that will be like to like 6 people, sometimes only 4 people, and sometimes only 2 people can go per pod. So for that one pod, like a pod that I was in as general population. So one pod is like about 48 women. So I was in there with like 47 other women. So then, and then for church, because they would leave one for church, they would leave one for like Mormon, they would leave one for classes, they would leave a paper. Just, so if you want to make sure that you're on the list and it's a Sunday, you better get your booty up, go sign your name on that, and that way you can go to church that day. So long story short about that, one of the times, I signed my name to go to church. I was like, okay, I want to go, right? And plus, to not just be there bored. So I got up early and I went. Well, what the pastor said really touched me. And he was like, I want y'all to close your eyes. And we closed our eyes. And he was like, I know a lot of you must have something that's still bothering you. And why are you going to hold on to it? Just let it go. You want to hold on to it so bad because it hurt you so bad. Somebody that hurt you really bad. And it made you go through hell. Or you might still be in that situation right now. But what good is it going to do holding on to that? You're going to feel so much better if you let that go. So I had my eyes closed. And I'm not even lying. Like, I was closing my eyes in that room with all the other inmates. And when I closed my eyes, I started feeling like this warm feeling over me. Which I think, it was the Holy Spirit or God, right? So then I felt like it was like so warm, like inside. Like I started feeling warm. And I was like, what? So I still had my eyes closed. And I could hear like a little voice like in my conscience that was like, pick up your hand. And I didn't want to because I was just like, no, like people are gonna be like, what is she doing? So then I kind of like was like fighting it. So I was like, no, like I was like this. And then it was like pick up your hand. And I was like, I kind of was scared. And I was just like, and I was like that. And then in my head, right, the little voice was like, open your hand, just release and forgive them. And I'm not even playing. I started crying. I was in my eyes closed. I started crying. And I just like opened my hand and I was like that. I was just like, and I picked up my hand all the way, I was like this. And then I was crying, right? And I whispered like to myself, I was like, I forgive them. And I had tears and everything. And I was all like, I forgive them. And then once I did that, I felt like this weight like came off of me. And then instead, I felt kind of like there was like a void that was filled. And I was like, waiting for the pastor. He said, okay. He said, amen. And then he said, open your eyes. And then when I opened my eyes, I was like thinking to myself, I can't believe I just forgave them. I actually forgave the people that broke up my family. And I was kind of like looking around, and because we were all in this little room, and the guard was there, of course. And then I looked around, and like suddenly I felt like the space that we were in was a lot bigger. And then I just like looked up, and I was like, wow, like God can actually still touch people and touch lives no matter where you're at, even in jail. So that's how I know that a God really does exist. And I don't care what people think. You want to think, oh, she's just saying it. Just no. I don't give up. No. Whatever you want to think, that day I forgave them. And that's like the best feeling ever, because I was like, I don't have to be living with the pain. I don't have to be living stressing myself. I go about my day and I worry about myself. I live my life. I'm living my life. Just as long as, my girls are happy, they're healthy, as long as I'm good, I only worry about what I have to do. Because I'm like, they're not gonna do it for me. Nobody's gonna do it for me. I have to do it for myself. And then I feel like they want to say whatever they want to say. That's fine. I have not heard from them. Um, I do wish them the best. You know, recently I heard some stuff. I don't know if it's true. Some stuff about them. I just hope that they're in good health, and I hope that they accomplish and succeed in whatever it is that they want to do. I hope that really, like, I really do. It would not make me happy if, you know, one of them got COVID or one of them was doing bad. I want them to succeed in whatever it is that they want. So even though, they don't want to talk to me, um, I still wish them the best wherever they're at. So, yep. That's why my oldest sister doesn't want to talk to me. I'll do my next video on why my other sister doesn't want to talk to me. Or doesn't talk to me, for that matter. But just real quick, just to elaborate, going back to the altercation with my baby's dad and hers, this is where a lot of people don't know what happened. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I saw and what I heard with my own eyes. So, yeah.